Hey there, artists. Today we are going to be drawing a fall themed drawing since the end of pumpkin season is approaching and we're entering December. So today we are going to focus on our coloring techniques and overlapping objects to make them look more realistic. So we're going to be drawing a pickup truck full of pumpkins, and notice how they're overlapping. Okay, so to start us out, you're gonna come and I would grab your black marker if you have one, or a pencil. You'll need crayons, and then as always, I'm gonna use my favorite little broken crayons. Okay, they are my favorite. I use them to color both my grass and my sky. Okay, so be sure you grab those if you have them. Remember, if you don't, how I showed you, you could tear off the end of your paper, but not the whole thing. Okay, so to start us out, we're gonna start by drawing 2 circles. Not in the middle, a little bit lower. So let's do 1 and 2. Okay, now I'm gonna put a circle in the middle. They look like eyes, but they're gonna be the tire and the hubcap. Okay, now I'm gonna draw a line that connects them. And you're gonna notice they're gonna start to look like glasses. Draw a line that extends. Again, you see the glasses? There we go. Okay, next I'm gonna add 2 squares, and I'm gonna add them on the end of the line. So 1, 2. Okay, so I've got my glasses and I've got 2 squares. Now we're gonna start building our pickup truck up. So I'm gonna start right here and I'm gonna draw a line that goes up. Okay, and I'm going to use my pointer finger to show you this one. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna draw a curve that goes around and then around again. Okay, so it goes around and then around again. See how it kind of drops? That's what we're gonna do. And again, at any time, if you wanna switch to using a pencil first, go for it, because you know you can always trace it later. Round and drop. Around and drop. Okay, so now I've got the front of the pickup truck. And now let's add the back. So I'm gonna start and come to the middle of that. Think about that, how will be good. Then I'm gonna draw over. Okay, so again, I have the front of the pickup truck, I have the back, and now we can start going in before we do our pumpkins, and let's add some details on our truck. So first, I'm gonna add the window. So I'm gonna follow that line around and down. Now a couple ideas. If you wanna draw a person in there, you could. Someone driving, that's up to you. If you wanna add the little light as well up there. And you can add, if you want a design on here, or maybe you want it to be a certain make and model, you could do that as well. Any kind of details you want to add. Now I'm gonna go in and let's start working on the pumpkins. Now I want them to overlap, so I can't just draw a big circle because it would not be balancing on the edge of it. It would be nestled inside of the pickup truck. So I'm gonna start with a curve, and let's turn that into a pumpkin with some curved lines. We can add the stem, you can add a little vine if you wanted to. And now let's keep going. Again, part of the circle. Again, I can't put one way up here because then it would be flying. And that would not be quite right. There we go. We'll add one a little bit lower. Here we go. Okay, now what do I do when I get to the second row? Well, I'm gonna come in between and draw a curve. This one I'm gonna make the stem be over on this side and make the lines kind of come from that direction. Because again, if the farmers put them all in a truck, they're not all gonna be pointing the same exact way, most likely. And then I'll keep going. And again, what we're doing is called overlapping. Notice I'm not drawing through the front part. This one is in front of that one. See how it's kind of nestled up there? That's what you want. And guys, you can add as many of them as you want. I'm gonna come over here and add another one. Here we go. Let's add one last one right there. A nice big plump one right on the top. There we go. Okay, so again, I have overlapped. I'm putting objects nestling together, okay? And again, it's gonna make it look a little bit more realistic than just all side by side. Now I need to start working on the background. So to do that, I'm gonna come over and I'm gonna draw some grass. I'm gonna draw a grass line right there. And I like to do a really zigzag line when I do my grass. You could go in if you wanna add some more little details down here. If you want to add some pumpkins over here, that will work. You can do it this way. If you are in person at school right now, you know I showed you another way the other day. Let me grab my notepad. If you would rather do one, remember we talked about how if you're in second or first grade, you start with the hot dog, an oval shape. You could put it in a bun, and then do it again. If you would rather do a more realistic one that's up close, you can do it that way too, okay? So again, if you were in person last week and we talked about that with our scarecrow, you could do that as well. Let's see, I'm gonna add another, and I'm gonna overlap again actually. I'm gonna add another circle behind it and add those lines. Here we go. I could add little vine on there. I could do the same thing over here. What if I want to put one here, a smaller one, another one behind it. Again, our goal today is to overlap, and then if you caught it, our second goal is to really focus on how we're coloring. Okay, so let's add some details in the sky and then we can move on to color. Now I'm gonna do some clouds with a little bumpy line. We'll do another big cloud here. Here we go. I could even add a sun behind it because again, I want to overlap. There we go. The clouds are in front of the sun. I'm gonna add some sun rays in there. Very good. Now again, if you are in person at school and you helped do that scarecrow landscape, I want you to remember what we talked about when we talked about space. We said if we added birds, they would be a little bit smaller in the sky because they are so far away. We talked about how when things are far away from us, the size gets smaller. Okay, so you're doing that here as well. Okay, now it is time to start coloring. Now I have recorded me coloring this, and I want you to notice 3 things. Okay, first, again, notice I do use the little broken crayons. As you're going through the school year, if you have crayons that are starting to wear away and start to break, don't throw them away. Put them in a little Ziploc baggie because you'll really benefit from having them when you're drawing. Okay, the second thing is I want you to notice the direction that I color. Okay, so I am working on coloring my truck in the video, and you'll notice I'm always going in one direction. If I go really, really quick, then I'm going to miss some spots. But if I slow down and go one direction, and you'll see it doesn't really take me that much longer to do it this way. Okay, it really doesn't. And then you'll notice after I've colored this whole part, I turn it and then I do the whole thing that direction. So again, I'm always going one direction. That way I don't miss any spaces. Okay, and the last thing I want you to really focus on today, this line where we drew the grass, the art word for that is horizon line. The horizon line is where the sky and the ground touch. Now, where the sky and the ground touch, the sky is always going to have blue. A lot of times when people draw the sky, they draw blue up here and they leave this white. But when you look outside, is the sky white at any point? No. Okay, when you look outside, the blue goes all the way down until it touches the ground, whether that is the grass or the trees or a mountain, a hill, whatever that is. So when you're coloring, be sure your blue, if you're doing a blue sky, goes all the way down until you touch your ground, the horizon line. Okay, now when you're finished, please don't forget to submit your exit ticket, and I hope you have a great week.